Oh, yeah. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of Cream of the Crop, a fantasy hockey podcast presented by Apples and Genos. You come for the apples and you stay for the Genos. All right? That's nice. Please, I'm your host, Blake Creamer. Follow me on X at Blake Creamer AG. Also, hit the Discord link in the description of the show here. We're getting to biz in there. There's lots of best ball leagues happening that Nate is putting on. So head in there. You can do some best ball leagues with the rest of us. It's really fun. And well, I got you. Please go rate the pod. Can you do us a favor? All right. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you know what to do. All right. Please go rate the pod. And if you're liking this content, we'd love that. That helps us get it out to more people. Okay. All right. This is a special mock draft episode because I have two guests. All right. Two fantasy stallions, two thoroughbreds have ponied up and joined me for an epic category league mock. I've got Victor Nuño from the Daubers Prospects Report and Fantasy Hockey Life, and Mike Rogerson of the 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. What you're about to witness is what happens when worlds collide, all right? And I couldn't be more stoked. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much. Victor, I'll start with you. How's everything going?
It's going awesome, Blake. I'm excited to be back. Thanks for having me. And, yeah, looking forward to doing some mocks. And, looking forward to seeing what everybody does and chatting, hopefully razzing some people. But really, it's just fun to kind of see how it all plays out.
Yeah, that's really the point of these mocks, isn't it? Just to make fun of your opponents. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this. So definitely flame away. You know, we gotta make it a special watch for these listeners. All right, we got 10 beautiful listeners from the Apples and Genos Discord in the mock. So thank you for joining us. And now I also got Mike Rogerson here, that beauty from the 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Buddy, how was your summer? What have you been doing with yourself?
It's going really well. Right off the bat, yes, that's a scratch on my camera. So
nice. Thank you for addressing it.
Yeah. It's not a black hole on my forehead. Yeah, man, it's been a good summer. It's been real busy. I've kind of been slacking on my mock drafts so far, so this is going to be a good one. First overall, no idea who I'm going to take.
Yeah, that's a mystery. Yeah, and that's why we got you here, Raj, just because you haven't been practicing, so I need to feel good about myself, so I thought I'd get you in on this.
Right, I'm probably going Troy Stetcher at first overall.
That makes absolute sense. He's actually a beauty. I love Troy Stetcher.
So do I. He's one of those guys I had the pleasure of running into him, chatting with him for a bit in Vancouver here, and he's I was really sad when he got traded. He's one of those guys, like, you meet him and he's a dope guy, super cool guy.
All right, well, you know what, I'd love to hear more about this story, but damn, there's only 2 minutes left, buddy, so we got to get the biz. All right, so this is a Cats league. All right, so bring your beefers, boys. All right, I'll give you the categories here: assists, blocks, goals, hits, shots on goal, special team points, and then the goalie category: saves, wins, and save percentage. We're going to do 18 rounds. We got 14 active roster spots, 4 reserve spots. You know the drill, all right? Raj won the lotto. He's drafting out of the 1 spot. I'm at the 6th spot. And Victor, I'll see you at the party, Victor. He's bringing up the caboose at pick 11, all right? Going to be a snake draft, which means we go 1 to 12, then 12 back to 1, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, my team, the Creamy Beefers, rides again, all right? We got Creamy Beefers are number 1 in the league in dubs per 60. Did you guys know that? That's right. I'm going to be doing my comedy act, basically. This right here is not a mock draft. I'm working on material, so you guys got to let me know what's going on, all right?
Nice. I like it.
All right, so we got – oh, go ahead. Yeah, what do you got?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. I was just going to say, speaking of comedy acts, we have 2 Canucks fans here.
Oh, God. That's sad. Yeah.
That's comedy right there.
Yeah, that's no good. Actually, Victor, what's your team? Is it the Sharks? It can't be.
Well, I mean, I grew up a Sharks fan because they're the team closest to me, but I kind of feel like I've just become more neutral over the years, just doing fantasy, because you can't be too attached to players. So, but yeah, they're the team I grew up, but I don't really cheer for anyone now. And of course, it's harder to cheer for the Sharks anyways now because they're terrible. But
you had some good years, man, and we did too, I guess, right, Raj? Those were the days, right? Those were the days. Oh God, 10 seconds.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Raj, you're going to be up in 10 seconds. You better make the right choice, all right? Troy Stetcher, no, all right?
No, I don't think there's much debate for 2 years who to pick first overall.
There you go.
But in 2 or 3 years, I think there's going to be a debate. Absolutely. One of my hometown boys. Right?
Let's see. So yeah, you're actually. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I mean,
So yeah, Connor McDavid, easy number one, no question. So you think Bedard will be in a couple years? You think he'll be up there?
100%, dude. 100%.
I love
And
that.
it's not because he lives 2 blocks away from me either.
Oh, bang. Okay. So we're on going here. Uncle Leon goes at number 2. Austin Matthews at 3 to Raging Booners. That's not appropriate. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. Little off the board.
Costa at 4. Yeah. Oh, you're up, Blake.
God. All right. Okay. So I'm up here, and I think I got to be smart. I would love to take Jack Hughes here, but in a category league, I think I got to get a little bit more diversity in the categories. So I'm going to take Matthew Tkachuk. I'm going to get Matthew Tkachuk in there. He's locked and loaded. I'm hoping he's good, coming back from injury. That is a little bit of concern to me, but I mean, even if he misses a few games, he's still going to be legendary. And I think Florida underachieved last year just in terms of their conversion. I think there's some headroom for them to get some more points. I don't know. What do you guys like Tkachuk this year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did 100 plus without Barkov playing properly, right?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Brady Tkachuk goes at 8 here, and yeah, this makes sense in a category league because this guy is elite in shots and hits, and I think he has a little bit of headroom offensively as well. I don't know. Do you guys like Brady Tkachuk here at 8?
I think both Tkachuks are reasonable in this range, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Tkachuk obviously much higher in a category league than a points league, right? But he's getting up there in points. I actually have him projected for like 90 points this season. I don't know, Victor, where do you see Brady Tkachuk this season points-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can get there. Depends on all the shooters around him and the conversion. But the power play should be great. I think he can be there, like point per game-ish, for sure.
Yeah. No, it's just crazy the amount of shots and hits the man has. Like, what the hell is he doing out there? I mean, he's just a wrecking ball.
It's like the points are secondary almost, right? Like that's a nice thing about a guy like either the Tkachuks, even if their points dip, you're still pretty safe, right?
Yep.
We had an auto pick. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this guy gets in there. I've been talking to everybody. But I mean, Jack Hughes, it's not the worst auto pick in the world. Like he's elite offensively, but he's not giving you any periffs really. I still think he's a first rounder, probably late first round in a category league draft. And then Kucherov, crazy value here. I mean, he's fading. At least he got in the first round here. I've seen him go in the second and like at 14 or 15. And that just seems way low for me on Kuch. I don't know. What do you think, Raj?
Oh man, I love the guy. He's rugged as all hell. He already had his season off, so I don't think he's going to do that again. I'm a big fan of Kucherov. Actually, I'd personally pick him ahead of Jack Hughes in this league, in a categories league for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Ooh, Victor, tell us about your pick, my man.
I was gonna say that might be a little spicy, but I like Jimmy Stu. He is he's great, and that I was thinking about J Rob. He went right after. Oh no, it's back to me already. Okay,
All
so
right,
J
talk us through your pick here. What are you doing?
Kuchla, Robertson, Makar. Was thinking about D, but kind of just want to get the elite scorers locked down. You know, that's usually what I kind of want to do early on. So there's still some good ones on the board. Thinking like Peterson, Kaprizov, Tage. Obviously, Ovi's still there. Obviously, JT Miller too. I kind of just like to go really high points upside early though, because you want them guys that can do a little bit of everything, but it's hard to find those 100-point players early on. Or later on, I mean.
Yeah, that's so true. I think I had that conversation in the Discord recently. Here is like, yeah, you can take Brady Tkachuk at like 4 or 4 or 5, and you can definitely do that. But you're passing up on guys like Austin Matthews or even Pasternak. Like, no, you got to get those elite goal categories. You got to get, elite offense is hard to find. You can find your banks later on. And Victor goes with Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov. Love that pick, buddy.
Ooh, yeah, so I just wanted to. I was thinking Tage too. Tage went right after, but you're kind of looking at these guys that you want a little bit of bangs, and Jimmy Stu does that, and I think he's just coming to his own. I think he's 100+ point guy probably like moving forward, and then Kaprizov, he's had a little bit of injury trouble, but you believe in the guy, like he has all the talent in the world. So if you're going to bank on anyone to be in that neighborhood, it's him. He doesn't do too much in the peripherals, but he shoots a lot and has tons of power play points. So
yeah,
hard to go
it's
wrong.
not terrible to me. And I think he's going to get over 100 points this year. So you're locking up a 100-point man in the second round, like your second pick, in my opinion, right? With 50-goal upside. So this guy bounce back season, what the hell? This man's on notice. All right, buddy, you get your biscuits in here or we're booting you from the Discord. Book it. All right. No, we don't do that. All right. We want everybody in the Discord. It's a nice community. But damn it, man. Come on.
Oh, and he's going to take my
there you go. You thought he was coming back to you, Raj.
I don't know. I got chirped for taking him in the third round last year. So, you know.
Yeah. Who's laughing now? Buddy, that's 100-point man.
Hey, man, according to the all-knowing ESPN, he's going to come in third in points this year.
Those are comedy, aren't they? Those rankings. Right. Man, I love drafting on ESPN. Because if you draft people that don't do any research, it's like it's just taking candy.
Oh, and man. Miller too. Come on, you guys. They're just hurt. They're right here.
What are we at? Pick 19. Oh, you know what? Oh God. All right. I like the first three actually in the queue. I like Ovi, I like Yossi, and I like Meyer. Those are the three that I'm kind of looking at. And oh man, I think I gotta go Timo Meyer. This might be a mistake, but obviously I love the periffs that this man brings, and then. You know, it's a bit of a question mark what he's going to do in Jersey there, but he's in the top six. That top six is elite. And, you know, I like Meyer's outlook. He's obviously a second rounder in category leagues, no problem. Points leagues, he's going to drop a little bit more. I don't know. What do you guys think about Meyer there?
Love it.
I think I don't have many questions. I think some people are more worried, but they're paying the guy. He's the man. Like he's going to get every opportunity. People are like, oh, he's going to regress from his time in San Jose, but when he had all the opportunity, but they're paying him as the highest paid player on the team. They're going to give him all the power play time. He's a banger and he scores a lot. He's going to probably get 90 to 100 points and a ton of hits, blocks, and power play points. So what's not?
I love that. Oh my God, 100-point Meyer. I'd be here for that. My God. Oh, I'll tell you what, boys. Just as a fun fact, this guy Peanut is a good buddy of mine. I've been in leagues with him for like 9 years. And he's going all Boston. That's interesting because Raj, he's a big Canucks guy. Canucks guy. So I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's going off the rails. I don't know what's happening. So after I picked the Meyer, Ovechkin goes, Marchand gets taken, 9th pick of the second round. Little high for me, my man. Roman Yossi goes next. Rasmus Dahlin goes next, and now Raj is up. He's at the turn here. Last pick of second round, first pick third. What are you doing, Raj?
I got a double pick here. Categories league. I have a penchant for old men, which is
what a weird sentence.
Hey.
Oh no, no. There's nothing wrong with old men. That's I guess what I'm saying is ageist. So I don't want to be ageist.
Don't be ageist. Okay. So I get chirped for some of my old men picks. Oh, I guess I better hit the button. I'm getting that.
I think I know where you're going. Okay.
Loud sound here.
So Raj took Stamkos with his second pick. It's a great pick in a category league. Great pick overall. I think he's a second rounder for me in all formats.
Yeah, in the second round, and he hits more than people think, right? Because he's a goal scorer, and his injuries have turned a lot of people off. But I think he's pretty dang consistent for this position. Now I'm.
Raj is rattled. He's just straight rattled. He's on tilt.
I'm a little rattled here. Not rattled, but what do you do, right? Like,
I like Stamkos this year. I mean, anyone on that Tampa power
Watch
play.
this.
What are we doing? I knew it. So that's who I thought you were talking about when you said old man. And I'm a big fan of Crosby. He's just so consistent. Like I've been doing my projections here lately, and Crosby's just couldn't be more consistent. I think I got him for like 88 points. It's ridiculous. He's good to go. So I think people fade guys like Stamkos and Crosby just because of their age, and you shouldn't. You really shouldn't, especially in this format, right?
100%. And he's another guy who Crosby actually. He still has the reputation that he had from his like rookie year of being a whiner and a wimp and stuff, but he hits a lot actually for a guy who's pretty much guaranteed for 90 points. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so I'll give you a little recap here. So Raj, at the end of the second round, took Stamkos, then picked Crosby. Dougie Hamilton goes next to Jean Demy. I'm going to say it in a French accent because I don't know. And then Mika Zibanejad goes to Raging Booner. All right, so that's a nice little team you're building there, Raging Booner. He's got Austin Matthews, Roman Josi, and Mika Zibanejad. I like that. All right, now it's my buddy Peanut. Peanut is just a dingus. Let's just agree on that. You know, I got to chirp this man. He won our league last year, the league that I care about the most. I hate this because this guy is the ultimate chirp show. So, you know, we have to hear about it all off season, and that's fine. And he took Adam Fox. William Nylander goes, and now I'm up. I got Matty Tkachuk, Timo Meier, and I didn't look at what the hell I'm doing. So I have to do that. Normally, for me, I like to get a defenseman here in the first 3 picks, but I'm staring at Barkov right in the face. Oh, my God. I don't know that I can not take Barkov here.
Bounce back.
Let me see. Yeah. Big
back.
time. Like, yeah, Florida in general, just their conversion was ridiculous. And, you know, one of these seasons, Barkov is going to play a full 82 games, and I'm banking on this one right here. I got to take Barkov with my third pick. That makes total sense. I think he's high 90s, you know, maybe a 100-point guy in the third round. Buddy, that's what we like. I mean, you like Barkov this year, Victor?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally agree. They really fell off a little bit in terms of their high output of the previous season, and obviously they did some team-wide things that were really good. But, yeah, I think Barkov's going to be great, and especially getting us like a high-end center in the third like that who could push for a point per game plus. Like, that's great. Yeah,
absolutely. After Barkov pick goes Amir Heiskanen. That's probably who I would have taken as a D-man, him or Erik Karlsson. You know, they're both looking good. I love Heiskanen just because the deployment. I mean, he's a horse. This guy's going to be out there for 25 minutes a night in all situations, and he's on that power play in Dallas, which is incendiary. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm big on Heiskanen this year. I called for him last year as a dark horse Norris candidate. And he kind of didn't make me look like an idiot. I mean, he got some votes, right? He wasn't in the running or anything, but yeah, I'm big on Heiskanen. Svechnikov goes after that. That's a great pick in a category league. I'm big on Svechnikov this year. I'm excited that he's coming back. I think Carolina is a freaking wagon this year. They're my pick really for the President's Trophy at this point. I think like their defense is insane. Like they picked up Orlov and Tony DeAngelo plus the guys they already have. I mean. And Svechnikov's coming back. I just really like the outlook on that team. So, Victor, you got one pick here until yours. What are you thinking right now? You got Stützle and Kaprizov as your first 2 picks.
Yeah, I was going to kind of wait a little bit on D because I like getting some really high-end forwards. But there's one D that stands out to me if he makes it, and that's Evan Bouchard. Ooh. If he's there, I'm going to reach a little bit just because I think he's going to go insane on that top Oilers power play.
Yep.
And I want to be a part of that. If this guy takes him, I'm going to take a forward because I think some of the other D are kind of equivalent. He did not. So I will took Rupe Hintz, which is great.
Rupe Hintz. Nate, fun fact, Nate took that man in the 3rd round last year. All right. Auto pick, but still. What the hell were you doing, Nate? Come on. No.
What does Nate know?
Nate, that's crazy. He knew something we didn't. When he drafted him, it was an auto pick, and I was like, am I so out of touch? I mean, what's going on, you know? But he did end up having a great season. Boom. Book it. Evan Bouchard is a great pick here. He's got some bangs too. Like his careers were decent.
If you look at his per 60 numbers, they're insane. Like he's so good. And I think frankly that Edmonton was diminishing his returns a little bit by, you know, they got Barry and they had not playing him as much. So I think that all that kind of made sense. Oh boy. Now do I load up on the Edmonton power play? That's the question here. What do you think?
Ooh. Where you go? You're looking at Zed, Big Zed, Zach Hyman, maybe? Is that where you're going?
Actually, no, I was looking at RNH, but that's
a good point
also.
Speaking of regression candidates.
Oh, yeah, he's going to regress,
but
he could still.
4th round still. He could regress and be a good value in the 4th round.
He's like Carlson. Like, you're like, yes, automatic regression, but they're regressing from 100 points.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's between him and Johnny Tavares. I don't know. I think I want to be a part of the Edmonton power play more, right?
I love it. Can you think they can repeat what they did last year? I mean, that was ridiculous, right?
I don't think they can repeat it. I think they can actually do better, frankly, because I think Evan Bouchard is even better at what he does. So I think that they can still be in that range of basically every 4th time they're basically scoring when they go out there.
I actually agree with you just in terms of Bouchard. I think he's not Barry. Like, he's not this situation where you're like, oh, just put anyone on the power play, they're going to get 30 points. No, Bouchard is actually doing stuff. Like, in the playoffs, it's not a fluke that he led the entire like playoffs in power play points. The guy,
Well, see, he has a cannon, and Barry doesn't. He's pretty good at getting his shot on net, but he doesn't have the shot that Bouchard does. So they're going to have to respect a completely different angle that they haven't had to, basically. And even though we know those other guys are elite, but they haven't had that one on the back end be quite so good, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Bouchard gives him Barry is only power play assists. That's the only thing
Right.
that he registers in fantasy, right?
In this format, Bouchard, he bangs a lot.
Yeah,
he bangs. He bangs. I think I got to be smart. I got to take a D here. So after Victor took Nuge, then went Nico Hischier, Braden Point went Panarin in the 4th round. I think Panarin's probably good for like 90 to 100 points. So, that's why he's going in the 4th round in a category league. And then Evander Kane, take a gander at Evander. I actually would have liked that Evander Meyer stack. Bang. I would have loved that in a category league. But I'm going to have to settle for the reigning Norris Trophy winner, Erik Karlsson, in the 4th round. I think I have to get a top defenseman, top power play defenseman. He's not amazing in category leagues, but this is the 4th round, right? And I projected him out for 75 points. So, defenseman, 75 points. I'm loving life. I'm taking that. I like one, 2 or 2 who went right afterwards, but I'm not convinced that he starts the season, or if he does, that he'll be fully healthy. Like, he had a rotator cuff surgery or something like that. So, that takes a little while to come back from. Johnny Tavares goes next. I like that pick a lot, actually. Tavares, I think his floor is ridiculously solid. He doesn't have much of a ceiling, but he bangs and he crushes on the power play there. So I like that pick a lot. The Peanut. All right. And then Raging Booner, Gion Demi are next up. Rod, you're up in 2. What are you thinking about doing? You got 3 centers here. Where do you think you're going here?
Well, I'm running Stamkos at a left wing because I have to. No choice, which is too bad because I was hoping to pick up Eichel because he is already dropping and he shoots like mad, and he's never done what Eichel's supposed to do, and I feel like Vegas is going to settle down a bit this year. So, but I can't really justify 4 number 1 centers.
Oh, so and he's gone anyway.
Good, thank you. But no, I'm looking at. I've got a couple favorites here. I should take a D. I have a sort of a rule that I don't take a D in the top 3 rounds.
Why is that? What's your thought there?
Well, I don't know if you saw my research project last year, but I did a research project last year of like 50 something leagues that I gathered from everybody, and by far most successful teams didn't take a D inside the top 3 by a landslide. And no goalies inside the top 5, which we all know. But most successful teams had all forwards in the top 5.
That's interesting. So, like, value over replacement didn't really come into play there.
Well, it's nonsense. Because if you look, like a guy like who was the guy last year? Like everyone was calling for Cale Makar in the top picks, and it's like, really? It's
that was a bit spicy.
No matter what, he's not in the league of these other guys, and unless somebody's got a serious like category dominance, it just doesn't make sense. You can't, like you were saying earlier, you can't make up points later. You can make up every other stat later. You can't make up consistent points later. So I always go with, I like to trust my first 5 picks usually.
Yeah, it makes sense. I always feel better taking a forward than a defenseman. Yeah. Because that they're just going to get more points.
Well, and it's just like, I don't know, like a guy like Cale Makar. It's like, I guarantee you he's the most talented defenseman in the league. But I also guarantee you Brett Burns is going to give you better value.
Yep, no, that makes sense to me.
Right? So, like I said, when I did that big research project, I got super involved with for like a month, and I kind of have to stand by it at this point because it took up so much of my time.
Low key brag. This man's doing research projects. Victor, are you hearing this? This guy's doing research projects. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I expect to see your dissertation pretty soon there, Mike.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that. I do have some interesting picks here. So Jack Eichel went after Tavares, and then Adrian Kempe in the 4th round. That's a little spicy for me. That said, Kempe is a beefer, no question there. I mean, he's going to get over 100 hits, no problem. Maybe 40 goals, but I don't know. He's probably got a ceiling of 70 points. So I don't really like that pick there, Jean-Denis. But you know what? I like your Moxie kid. All right. You went for it. And then Raj took the Pittsburgh stacker. He took Jake Gensel, who looks like he might only miss 5 games apparently, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then picked Brent Burns after that. It's a great pick, great shot generating defenseman. I think I've got him for like 62 points, so that's lovely. Zach Hyman goes next. Clayton Keller goes next, and the first goalie off the board. I knew my buddy was going to do this. He does not do 0G. He does all G. But yeah, he's probably like, why the hell is Vasilevsky available in the 5th round?
Yeah, you remember like three years ago, it was like Vazzy was like 4th overall. Yep. Every draft, he was like 1st round until Nate came along.
Yeah, you know what?
Nate was right. I mean, goalies are so sketchy. You shouldn't, in my opinion, pretty much everyone's opinion now, like risking a goalie in the first 2 rounds.
It makes sense 0G to me now. I liked the idea of it last year, but I didn't follow it. I was like, UC Saros, come on, I'll just take you on my team. I love UC Saros. Let's go. But yeah, it just makes total sense because you can get beauties at the back end of your draft, right? But I mean, Vasilevsky in the 5th round, that's pretty darn good. Like if you're going to take a goalie, Vasilevsky in the 5th round, yeah. Oh, dang. I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Oh, geez. Now let's see where we're going. All right. So I'll probably go forward again here, but do I have to? I don't know. Let's take a look. 38.
I don't really mean to complain about fan tracks here, but man, they were so close on this new draft window last year, and it's kind of there's a few things that are
you're not liking it.
I don't know. I don't like it. It's like I don't want to talk bad about fan tracks because I love the platform a lot, but
so diplomatic.
It seems like they didn't use it.
It doesn't seem like there's much change really from previous years.
No, but there's a couple things like sorting wise, just when you're sorting players and stuff like that, there's a few simple things that would make it a lot better, in my opinion, which is all I care about.
Valid. It's valid. All right. So I'll give you a recap while Victor makes his pick here. Victor is up. So after Vasilevsky went Kevin Fiala. I took Sebastian Aho as a second center there. Johnson Gaudreau went after that. Then Quinn Hughes, Alex Tuck, and Mikhail Sergachev. And now Victor is up. And what are you thinking here, Victor?
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking forward. I'm looking at some of the, like whether I want to do a center now or just take one of these high-end wings. I think there's some good bounce back with like Line A, Forsberg, Caulfield. I think there's some pretty good value there, especially the guys that are left right wing eligible.
Yep.
And I tend to fade centers like goalies. You guys were talking about that. I have faded goalies forever. We just didn't have a name for it. And then Nate, came up with this, and Jesse and I always talked about. Yeah, we always talked about fading goalies, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, we'll just call it the thing. Speaking of which, a goalie goes right after I take Cole Caulfield.
His ears were burning.
Konechny. Oh,
we got some interesting picks going on here. So, Victor, you took Cole Caulfield, which I love that pick, actually. I think Caulfield's going to have a great season. 40 goal potential. I mean, I think in his career, he's got 50 goal potential. But this year in Montreal, I think I have him projected for like 41 goals and 23 assists or something like that. So it's a nice season. I mean, big shot producer, big chance producer, goal getter. Goals are hard to come by. That's one of the categories that I try and focus on in these drafts. I don't know. What about you?
Oh, definitely. I do this thing with my ranks where I actually prioritize the stats that are hardest to come by.
Yep.
And that is usually power play goals, and then things like shots and assists are kind of next. So, Caulfield does all those things: shots, goals, power play goals. So, I think he definitely has the upside, and he probably won't be available this late moving forward. So, speaking of which, I'm going to take my Center. I guss Stutzla is a center, but I decided, and I guess I have RNH. But
Is he dual eligible?
yeah, he
he's
is
center left
here.
wing. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll take my first true center in Dylan Larkin in the 6th.
Nice.
I like that. Larkin's getting slept on a little bit. Detroit in general, in my opinion, like they got a real nice first line there. I think that's gonna raise Larkin's ceiling a little bit, and he's just a young player getting better. I like that pick a lot.
And
So I'll just give
Detroit.
her. Oh
Detroit is getting so much better. I mean, they beefed up their defense. I think Husso has a bounce back. They got obviously DeBrincat. They're gonna be a good team. Like I don't know if they'll probably be on the bubble playoff team, but that he's just getting more talent surrounding him, and he's been doing a lot kind of with not very much help for a while now, and I think that's gonna just make it so much easier on him.
And he drives his own offense. Like, oh, that's a freaking snipe. Oh, man. I was going to go to the old mill. I was going to get some cider. What the hell is going on? All right. Damn it.
We were talking about Detroit, and that ruined it for you. Sorry, buddy.
I think, you've done it twice now, Victor. I don't know. All right. You're talking about goalies. A goalie goes. You talk about a D. Ah, God. Don't take most cider. Oh, most cider in a points league? No. I'm not taking him in the 6th round. In a category league, that might be a little low. I mean, you could probably take him around earlier than that. He's a beast.
100% taking cider with my next pick.
Oh man, that pisses me off. I'm rattled. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I got 20 seconds. Oh, I hate this. Victor Hedman. See you at the party, Victor. Yeah, we gotta take Victor Hedman. I actually, and this is probably gonna be my hot take of the season. I like Hedman over Sergachev. I think Hedman gets. I mean, obviously we know in real life he's a more valuable player, right? But in fantasy, Sergachev crushed Hedman on the power play last year. Hedman actually had the majority of that power play. It was 50% to 49 or something. But Sergachev came up with 27 points. Hedman 15 or something. Buddy, no. We need to flip that, right? So Victor Hedman, I mean, in the 6th round, you're loving that. But I did want cider. I would have liked cider over Hedman there. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, those are my two guys. But the fact that Josh Morrissey went before both of them, recency bias much?
That's wild stuff, Rich. You know what? You can chirp Rich all day long because in the last mock draft, he sniped me 4 times.
I just did. He also took Quinn Hughes in a categories league. So
he's going off. He thought it was a points league. Rich, did you think it was a points league, buddy? I don't know. We'll take it offline. All right, Rod, you're up. While you're thinking of your pick, I'll just give you a quick recap here. So 6th round, Konechny went. That's a little early. Larkin, Werenski, love that pick. Connor Bedard goes at the 4th pick of the 6th round. Morrissey, Cider, Hedman, Kyrou, Mark Scheifele. Hi, Mark. UC Saros, and then Johnny Huberdeau. I love that pick in the 6th round. Huberdeau's going to bounce back big time this year.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. From 1st round last year to 6th round, that was a coaching bum last year.
Yeah, get the hell out of my sight, Sutter. What are you doing?
I think this might raise a couple eyebrows, but in a Cats league, this guy is Connor McDavid.
Oh, that raises no eyebrows to me. That's 200 hits and almost 200 blocks, and probably 10 goals. Trouba is a unicorn. He's a freak in Cats leagues. No, I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, he's guaranteed those things. He's not going to break any goal scoring records, but
that's fine. If Fox goes down, maybe he gets on PP1. I don't know. Probably not.
He's always he's right there though. He's right there. He gets big minutes. He gets all the hits, all the blocks guaranteed, and he's not a slouch on offense. This is another fella I did not expect to get this late. You'll notice, I have a very, very big thing for anybody I ever meet or talk to. I think they're great. And this is one of those guys.
So we got to, you know what? If you're ever in a league with Raj, you just got to do a little research on Raj as a person. Who's in his friend circle, right? And then you know who he's going to take. So we're good to go.
Well, I don't exactly have Jesper Bratt on speed dial or anything, but we did do an interview with him on 32 Thoughts. It's coming out next week. And,
dang! I love that. All right.
I like him. He sounds like a sweet fella.
Yeah, you're on brand there, my man. Okay, so Raj took Jacob Trouba, Jesper Bratt. I love that. Philip Forsberg goes to Jean Demy. That's a great pick. Your last 2 picks, buddy, solid. All right, you took Huberdeau and Forsberg. I love that. It makes up for the Kempe pick. but I mean, you're not going to hate Kempe there either because he bangs. And then Patrick Laine goes to Raging Booner. All right, so that's nice. Laine going to bounce back, like you said, Victor, I think. And then Claude Giroux goes. Oh, man, I'm up here. So Alex Pietrangelo goes after Claude Giroux, and I am up, and I'm staring down some players here. I think I got to get going on some right wings here. And let's see. I mean, it's a Cats league. Oh, man. It just messes everything up, doesn't it, Victor? You're like, oh, I'd love to take the BPA, best player available. And you're like, Cats league, does he bang? I don't know. Does he do anything? You know what? I think I'm just going to go for my guy. I'm going to take Matt Boldy, my right winger. I like Matt Boldy this year. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Matt Boldy, Victor?
Well, you're boldly going with the right choice there, I think. I love Matt. He's fantastic. I think, we were talking about like IRL versus other stuff. Like, he's just such a good player, and you put him with anyone, he just makes them better. But he's going to get more opportunity too. Like, he can score. I think he had a little bit of a downturn just in relation to how many points he can actually score versus how much he helped the team. I think he was kind of doing that more than, scoring, but he can definitely score too. So I think he bounces, up to scoring a little bit more this year. And now I'm up. So I am thinking in the 7th here, I might go D because there's one D left on the board that I really like. I definitely want to get some top power play, but you want guys that bang and do other things too. And I don't really like guys that maybe might share their power play time. Like we were talking about Sergachev, Hedman. I'm probably just going to approach those guys by taking whoever's taken second because I think that's good value. Like, I don't want to be the first one to take one of those. Same with the Vegas guys, but I don't think there's any question of who's going to be the top guy in Boston, and that's going to be Charlie McAvoy. So I'm taking him. I know that Boston's probably going to regress a ton just with everything that's happening, but they're still going to be really good and have a lot of power play success with Pasta and Marchand and McAvoy. So yeah, I want to be part of that, and he's going to have tons of bangs too. So
I think so. That. And I like McAvoy. His ice time was down a little bit last season, and I think that goes back up. Like, when he got back from injury, Hampus Lindholm was on fire. Like, why would they take Hampus Lindholm's minutes down? No. And McAvoy's coming off injury. I think he sort of takes that back. I think he was at 22 or something. I think he'll get back up to 24. Like what you said, ridiculous bangs and all that stuff. So after McAvoy, Malkin goes, which is great value in the 7th round. Jeff Skinner. And now where are you going, Victor? You're back up. Are you rattled? Did you want one of those guys?
I definitely wanted Malkin, and then I was like, well, he took Malkin. Maybe I'll go Skinner.
The double snipe. Booney Tunes. The double
Jeff Skinner had his good 1 out of every 5 seasons last year.
I probably wasn't going to take Skinner, but I was kind of eyeballing him with the Buffalo situation. But yeah, there's some good guys here on the board. Definitely going forward. Not even thinking about G for another few more rounds. But I love my guy, Captain America, Joe Pavelski. What's not to like?
Yeah,
the guy,
Mr. Consistent.
He's 78 years old, but he still just stands in front of the net, tips pucks in.
Yeah,
he bangs too. Like he's like the power play points, everything is just great from him.
Age-related regression does not affect Joe Pavelski's game whatsoever, right?
No, he goes from the blue line to the front of the net and tips pucks in, and that's all you got to do.
Yep. No, I love
Pavelski. Hammered in off his ass and all that kind of stuff.
Giggity.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So Rich is going D heavy here. What do you got, Raj? I'm thinking my picks here. Yeah, give me what you got. What are you talking about?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
you're ahead of me.
Strategy related. Okay, I got you.
Dude,
Did Rich just go 4D in a row?
He did. All right. Sorokin goes right before me. That's fine. I wasn't going to take him, but we got to take a look here. I'm thinking I want a defenseman, but I don't. Sometimes when I get into my queue, but then I like to always look back here and be like, is there a guy that's just falling like crazy? And there isn't, like not in terms of ADP, right? Okay. You know what? I think I got a little more value on defense here. Let's see. Oh God. You know what? Where are we? Eighth round. Okay.
Oh man, I know I'm getting sniped.
Okay, I'm taking Jacob Chikrin. There we go. That's it. I like Jacob Chikrin. I just projected him out, and I think I had him for high 50s, but that's with power play too, and I think If they do the right thing, they should put him on power play 1. I think Thomas Chabot is probably going to get power play 1 to start the season, but I like Chychrun's headroom there. Obviously he needs to stay healthy. The guy's had some problems with injuries, but that might be a little bit of a reach too for Jacob Chychrun, but he's kind of the guy I wanted here. And I think if he does get power play 1 and good deployment, we're looking at a 20-goal defenseman, and 20-goal defenseman in the 8th round. Bang. I love that.
For sure. And you know what? Getting rid of DeBrincat, they were getting into the situation where they had almost 2 capable power plays, which sucks for fantasy. Yeah. But I think getting rid of DeBrincat is a big shooter. I think they're going to have a top line stack, and Chabot plays like 75 minutes a game, right? So, I think with Chychrun there, that's probably part of the thinking is he should take some of the power play time so that Chabot can do, the other 55 minutes of the game.
I'm kind of hoping he just takes it all. Chabot is a minute muncher. Like, have him kill penalties, power play 2, 20 minutes, even strength time, go nuts, but get Chychrun on the power play, please, for the love of Pete. All right, let me recap here. So this round, I'll start after Pavelski. So it went Reinhart, Ottinger went, Seth Jones, which I think is a great low-key pick here. We got Josh and I got chirped on our last mock draft. He was saying that he said Chicago's power play is going to be better. And so I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, it will be better. I think it's going to be better. And Seth Jones is there. You got Bedard. I think that's a low-key good play. He brings the periffs as well. Then Sorokin, Chychrun, Vince Dunn, Shea Theodore to Pinochle. Tyler Toffoli goes to Raging Booner. And Jean Demy took Vincent Trocheck. Buddy, you're going to like the way you feel. I guarantee it. He's a beauty. And then tell me about your picks here, Raj. What do you think?
I got both my guys. I got Drake Batherson. 8th round.
Are you worried about Batherson this year? Like, being able to play? Like, just with the looming kind of investigations and stuff here?
No. God.
You don't think so? Because that was a lot of talk last year, but I don't know. There's some smoke kind of around this, the players and the investigation here.
Well, that's
a guy I would love in a cast league, but I don't know.
That's only on Twitter. He's playing. If anything was going to happen, it was going to happen last year. If according to that story, half the league is getting kicked out of the league forever. So I'm not worried about Batherson whatsoever. And then obviously I got the best goalie in the 9th round, so I'm happy about that.
That's not 0G, Raj. All right, so I don't know. We're gonna have to slap your hand on that one.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that he's probably going to play the most of any goalie this year, and the Canucks are gonna be not the worst.
I'm with you on that, buddy. Yeah, I swear they will be better. I actually like what I've heard from Rick Tocchet, to be honest. I think, he's doing the X's and O's. He knows what he doesn't know, and he's getting people in there to help him figure that out, right?
Don't talk to me about Tocchet, but
right, okay, yeah, we don't want to get into a thing here.
But no, the team is good, and the problem last year was management fucking with everybody's head. It wasn't the coaches, it wasn't the players, it was management, and they've messed up as much as they can. I think Tocchet's fine, but the coach was never the issue. The coach came in and almost took over the league, right? Bruce came in and took over the entire league when he joined the team. So
you love Bruce Boudreau.
Well, try to tell me it's his fault. Like, the same lineup wins every game, and then.
Well, I'll give you my take on that because I'm interested in your opinion on that. But I want to hear what Victor's doing here because you're up here, buddy. Give me your pick and let's see what's going on. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I got some good forwards here, and there's a defenseman who stands out to me above some of the other guys, and he's on a really bad team, but I love Mike Matheson here.
Oh, you're taking the professor, buddy. Oh, I thought I was going to get him on the way back. I love Mike Matheson.
Yeah, I love him too.
Sniping me. I don't like this.
He's gonna be out there with some really good forwards, Caulfield, Suzuki, etc. And he bangs a lot. He's gonna play a ton. So what's not to like, right?
The deployment is insane. I mean, he was playing 30-minute games last year. And granted, they had major injuries, but I heard Martin St. Louis talk about Matheson, just how much he loves the way this man skates, his attitude. Like, he's got the full trust of the coach there, and he's just going to eat minutes and power play 1 minutes it should be a better power play. Like, you got another year of development with Suzuki, and Cole Caulfield's a beauty. I don't know. So Doughty and Martin Necas go after your pick there, Victor, and you're back off.
Yeah, definitely looking forward here. I was wanting a couple of guys that recently went. Necas was one that I was looking at. I was looking at Buchnevich and Nichushkin. But yeah, just looking at a guy that can add me some roster flexibility. I love these dual eligible guys. Looking at Marchessault, McCann. I mean, Kuzmenko wouldn't be terrible in this range. I know he doesn't do much peripherally, but he's going to regress, but he's got some good points. But I think I'm going to go Marchessault. Just, he's going to be up there with Eichel. He bangs. He scores a fair amount. He just covers a lot. He's going to get a lot of time on ice.
He's so good.
Yeah, great pick. I mean, Conn Smythe. What the hell? I love that. Okay. Oh, we're in the 10th round. Oh, it's goalie season. Oh, God, Rich. I knew he was going to do that. He took Boone Jenner out of my grasp, buddy. Oh, my God. That's yeah, I'm going to have to, send me location, Rich. All right. I'm sending somebody to your house. Expect a visit. All right. This show ain't no good. All right, that's horrible. All right, I don't like this. All right, sorry. So I'll recap that. So Necas, Marchessault goes to Victor. Draisaitl takes Trevor Zegras. I think he's gonna have a good year. In the 5th round, Zegras, love that. I think he's good for 70 points. Mark, I honestly think Boston is not going to fall off as much as everyone thinks. I'm done betting against Boston. Like, I don't think they're going to be. They're not obviously not the team they were last year, but like, they're well coached. They've still got some really good pieces in there. Boone Jenner goes to Rich. I don't approve of this. Yeah, just a straight dingus behavior. He ate my sandwich. I was eating the sandwich. It was coming out of my mouth. He ripped it out. He just ate it. He stuffed the whole thing in one bite. Buddy, no. Dylan Cousins goes next. I don't even know what I'm doing. I have 30 seconds left. I got to figure this out. All right. Damn it. Oh, my God. That
hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah,
that one really hurt.
That show ain't no good.
I figured it was going to be you and me scrapping over Boone's.
You know what? 131, 115. I'm going to go for my guy. Oh, jeez. I'm going to take Owen Tippett. I'm going to go for a ride with Owen Tippett. That's a little early. That's a bit of a panic pick. I got to admit that. The music was going into my ear, but, I don't think I'm going to be too upset with that. There's no plus minus in this league, so thank God. But, Tippett, I've got him for, 55, 60 points with like really good periffs. I picked Nichushkin before that as well. So those are kind of similar players to me. Nichushkin has a little higher point ceiling. I don't know. What do you guys think about Owen Tippett? What do you think, Raj?
I like him. I like him as a player for sure. I think it's a good pick. I think maybe this is my 5-hole bias, but I think Philly and Vancouver are both grossly been underperforming. I think if anybody performs in Philly, it's going to be Tippett. And I like that. Oh, Kuzmenko goes. Dang.
Kuzi! Yeah.
That's a little early, honestly. It's a little early in my books, which I thought would be early. But I just wanted to throw back for a second here. Like in round 9, Chris Letang, Riley, and Hellebuck in round 9.
Yeah, we got an interesting draft going on here.
That's pretty dang okay. Now it's my turn, and I guess I get 2 in a row. So I had a D in mind. Is he still there? Oh, he'll be there forever. I'm going.
Not if Victor has his say. All right, he took Mike Matheson right out of my grasp.
That's right. No D is safe around me, Mike. Watch out.
Oh man, yeah, nobody's safe. I thought this was a safe place, and this guy's sniping me like, what was that Sniper movie? I can't remember the man's name.
Sniper?
Oh God, I'm blowing it. Yeah, Sniper. Yeah, who was the main guy? He was in
that guy.
Silver Linings Playbook. What's
that
Matthew? Guy? Son of a. Oh God. We'll edit this out in post. Don't worry. This is fine.
I'm going Ricky Rax just because he's he's at all categories, and if you can perform on Anaheim, you can perform anywhere. And as soon as he got to Pittsburgh, it blew up even more. So
he crushed. His hits were insane. What do you think about Raquel? Both of you actually, like with Carlson in town now. Do you think that Chris Letang goes to power play 2, or because I was thinking if they play Letang and Carlson together, Ricky Rax is the guy who's the odd man out. He's going to power play too.
I agree with that. I think that's what's going to happen because they don't really have 2 full power plays of proper players. So
right.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think when I talked to Jesse Marshall, who's the Athletic reporter, he was talking about how, well, obviously we don't know, but he was saying he doesn't think they're going to play them together because we've seen that bad movie. It didn't work with Carlson and Burns.
Right.
So I don't know, but I do know that at even strength, Ricky Rax is going to get an elite Hall of Fame center. So you like
absolutely.
that. And whether or not he gets enough power play points, that's really the question. But I think they're going to separate them. They're probably going to give Carlson and Letang each a chance, but I think it's going to be Carlson. That's what Jesse kind of said.
I think they're going to sort of eat each other's value a little bit. I think Carlson will come out on top in terms of power play minutes, but I was projecting Pittsburgh recently too, and Letang came out for like 58 points. That's pretty darn good. You know what I mean? And that was with less power play time, and I don't know.
Well, and you look at Letang too, though. Letang's got like tons of hits and blocks. Even in his injury years, even if he has his classic 65-game season, Letang's always, almost always one of the top 5 defensemen in value per game for sure, especially in this kind of league. I don't see how Pittsburgh can run 2 power plays, and I don't see how you could have Erik Karlsson and not have him on a power play.
Yeah.
But I also don't see how you could have Letang and not have him on a power play either.
Well, also, the guy has tenure. Like, how do you go, like, Letang, you just recovered from a stroke and came out and gave it your all. Like, head over to PP2, buddy. It's like, and plus, he's Mike Sullivan's guy, right? Like,
well, it's
going to be interesting, right?
Crosby, Malkin, Letang are a unit, right? They're actually the longest running unit in all 4 major sports right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know. I do hear what you're saying. Like, I think that 2D didn't work with Burns and him, but I also think that was San Jose. No offense. Kind of offense, but they're not Pittsburgh. They didn't have Crosby. They didn't have Malkin. They didn't have Gensel to throw in front of probably the 2 best power play defensemen of the last decade or so. So I think it could end up being both of them, but either way, I think they're both pretty safe to do well.
I think they'll just eat into each other's minutes, I think, at the very least.
Yeah,
that's what I think too. That's how I'm going to approach all those power play defensemen that have the potential of eating each other's value. So like the Tang and Carlson and Sergachev and Hedman. I think a lot of situations, the Vegas guys, if it's not clear, like I just want to take the second guy taken or just steer clear of that situation because I want my guy to be the for sure all around guy. And the only exception might be in the guy that I'm going to take right now, because if you're later in the draft,
he's like, I always do this, except now.
Well, no, this is later in the draft, and this is a guy who does everything else, right? He bangs, and whether he gets enough power play time is sort of irrelevant because Justin Falk is just an all-around great defenseman. He does a lot of peripheral coverage, and he might even get some power play time because who knows what's happening with Krug. I mean, it sounds like they kind of want to trade him, but he doesn't want to get traded. So
he's out of favor there, right?
Yeah, so he's out of favor. He doesn't do like Krug is not great at even strength, and Falk has really kind of shown that he can be. And so, yeah, I mean, he's got a really high floor, and then if he gets more power play time, then bonus.
Yep, no, I'm here for it, man. I think it's a nice pick. It's a safe pick. I think he has a really high floor.
Yeah, I don't actually know if Krug was taken, but I wouldn't take him anyways. So,
not interested. Although Torrey Krug is a beauty. I remember just in the playoffs a couple of years ago, like he got decked in the defensive zone, and then he just full steam ahead, like skated one end to the other and just leveled a guy. Like
I remember that.
He's a little fireball. That guy. I like the player.
I mean, 5'9" fireball.
Yeah, he just kind of passed it, I think, or certainly not the player needed in St. Louis there.
Yeah.
So yeah, your pick is up here, Victor, and then I'll give a little kind of recap of what's been going on here because I've been yammering on. But yeah, lots of good picks, lots of interesting picks.
I was actually pretty interested in Jake DeBrusk because I think that he's coming into this situation where he's going to be a much more prominent feature of this team. He's in a contract year. I know Fluto Shinzawa, we interviewed him. He's like, big things coming for Jake DeBrusk. He's like, it's not his team per se because you still got Pasta and McAvoy and Marchand there, but he's going to be one of the leaders. But who I'm going to take is actually, I mentioned him on the last round. I'm kind of surprised he's still there. I know the reason Jared McCann is probably still there because in Seattle you have this horizontal offense, where
Moneyball.
everyone does a little bit, but McCann is the goal scorer, and I know
Ah.
that he can score a good amount.
Sorry.
I love when people get sniped. Yeah, McCann, I mean, give the man some minutes. He scored 40 goals. Why is he playing an average of 16 minutes time on ice? It makes no sense. Like, I mean, obviously they know what they're doing. The team's successful, but I would love to see McCann get some minutes. Get him up around 18, 19 even. Like, let's let this man blast off because I think he's a very good offensive talent. All right, but yeah, absolutely. All right, let me give a little. Oh man, there's been so many picks, some interesting ones. I'll just talk about my favorites. Philip Gustafson in the 11th round. That's a goalie I like to target. Uyghur, Ekblad, Bowen Byram, all great category league defensemen. I took Vanacek in the 11th round as my first goalie, so I like that. Not the best goalie in the world, but he's on a great team that I think he's going to get lots of wins. Devin Taves, Stuart Skinner, Mark Stone, Luke Hughes is an interesting pick in the 11th round. And then, like you mentioned, you took Falk, DeBrusque went after Kopitar. You took McCann. And then Troy Terry, love that. I love that player. Not so much in the Cats League. Hampus Lindholm, Sam Bennett, Tyler Bertuzzi, and now I'm up. What the hell is going on? You know what? Why is this man still here? I feel like I have to. This is just disrespect. This is just disrespect for Chris Kreider. All right. This man scored 50 goals. That probably won't happen again, but I think he's good for 35, probably like 55, 60 points. And he bangs the hell out of people. He's mad. He has anger issues. All right. So he's going to get over 100 hits. I like that. He's a staple on Power Play 1. Chris Kreider in a banger league, 12th round. What the hell are we doing here? Oh my God. So I'm loving that. I feel good about myself. I don't know. What do you guys like Kreider or what?
No.
You don't like Kreider, Raj? Come on, who hurt you?
No, I don't. But I think in the 12th round, he's absolutely viable.
Damn Skippy. I know who you're taking if it comes to you. All right, come on.
He had that pop off goal season. He's always been a solid player, but he has the bangs, and he does obviously have the potential to just pop off and be.
He's also got one of the longest necks in the league. Just ridiculous. He's like a giraffe out there. I don't know. His head's all right. Bobble. He's like crazy bobble, man.
He's no Tyler Myers, but he's okay. Yeah,
that's right. He's second to Tyler Myers. Let's agree on that.
We do. I think with the Canucks between Pettersson and Tyler Myers, we do have one of the best neck lengths per 60 in the league. But Kreider's up there for sure.
Huge jugulars. Oh, Keandre Miller's a great pick to my boy nice. Peanut. Very good pick in the 12th round, my man. It's like he knows what he's doing. I don't know. Against all odds.
I do see a real parallel between Kreider and Kadri, though, actually. Just
really?
Oh, yeah, just being more slightly rugged players with the ability to pop off when they get put into the exactly right magic situation where they can really have that season. But I don't think they have a low floor, either of them. So I like both of those guys. The one I'm really intrigued about as a player this year is Bertuzzi, Tyler Bertuzzi, not Todd.
Both. Todd Bertuzzi. Come back, buddy. All right. Let's go out with a bang.
But Tyler Bertuzzi could be a real either a big move or a big letdown, right? Like
yeah. He's much better in my opinion than the bunt cake Michael Bunting. Get the hell out of my sight. You got to get Bertuzzi in there. Oh, did you just get sniped, Raj, with the Bo Horvat pick?
Did not. I already have 17 centers, so I was not going to take another one. What I am going to do, though, is take one of the other workhorse goalies.
Oh, I love your pick, buddy. That's a good one.
I bet between those two goalies, I have the most games played for sure.
And you got him in the 9th and the 12th round. That's money. That's money.
It's following the rules. That's following the Nate program, right?
I don't know. Allegedly.
A little early.
Yeah. We are not going to let this slide, are we, Victor? All right. This man is not doing 0G, and that's fine.
I would not do that in the 9th. If you're talking about Markstrom here in the 12th, I'm all for that. But then I think that's too early in the 9th. Like I would rather have a forward or a D there.
I already have all my forwards full, and I'm happy with them. I'm really struggling with a D to choose that I feel good about right now. But I do have a guy, being a categories league, I'm going to take way too early.
He's a beefer.
Dude, blocks and hits,
Yep.
champion.
He does that. All right. Your D, that's what that's a great thing in category leagues is like these defensemen, sort of towards the back end of the draft. So you can just load these guys up, 150 hits, 150 blocks. Like that's what these guys do. They're crazy. Tristan Jarry in the 13th round, great 0G option. First off, Markstrom's probably my favorite 0G option out there right now because he's going to be a volume starter. And I think he's going to have a really big bounce back season. I think the environment in Calgary for goalies is great. Markstrom just played like crap. Right. And for whatever reason. Right. So I love that there.
That coaching change is going to be huge, right? Like if you have, like we were talking about Huberdeau earlier, right? Like the guy dropped 40 points last year because of the coach, essentially. So
yeah, totally.
I think
that's
Calgary's
that's the way I see it. Yeah. And this new guy's a bit more positive, right? And plus he's an assistant of Sutter's, so it's not like you're reinventing the wheel, right? This guy knows what works out there.
Yeah. But I mean, the public problem is you've got 100-point guy in Huberdeau who all of a sudden scores. I don't even know his totals, honestly, 60, 70, something like that. His
55.
Oh Jesus. His modus is going to be, we need to get this guy and Weegs going.
Oh yeah, well, and they're locked in there. So, anyways, let me recap this. All right, we're going off the rails. That's all me. But so Raj took Markstrom and Adam Larson for the Bangs, and then Tristan Jarry goes Sammy Blaze, who makes some sense in a category league. I wouldn't touch him anywhere else. Giggity. Matty Barzal goes in the 13th round. Ilya Samsonov, I think another great 0G option. Toronto is a great team, and he's the number one there for now. I picked Jamie Benn in my opinion, at value in a Cats league. He hits a lot, and he's got a really good floor. He's on that power play. Tarasenko goes next. Arturi Lehkonen, love that pick. Shane Gostisbehere, great. I think he's going to be power play 1 in Detroit. And then Barbashev of Vegas goes to Draisaitl. Victor, you're up. What are you thinking? Where are you going?
Well, it's round 13, so it's about time to take a goalie, though I could probably still wait longer. I like to just flip over to the goalie tab and see who's available, and I usually just kind of scroll down. If there are 10 or so options that I'm still relatively comfortable with, I just wait. But I do see some of the more for sure volume guys going, and volume is key. So I'm going to just take Darcy Kemper here, who is, I think, the for sure starter in Washington. Obviously, that team has taken a bit of a step back, but I still think they'll be competitive, and he's the for sure starter, and he's a decent goalie. He's relatively consistent, the last few years. So,
what do you think about Victor, the older guys on Washington, like Yevgeny Kuznetsov and Nicholas Backstrom? Like, I read an interesting interview with Backstrom, and he really feels like he's got so much more to give. He sounds like he's in a really good headspace and coming into the season. I don't know. Do you like those players? Are you drafting those guys anywhere, or what do you think of their outlook this season?
I have never and probably will never draft Evgeny Kuznetsov. Guys like that are really good only when they want to are not guys that I want on my team because they're so hard to predict. They're so inconsistent. Yeah. Like, they're great. They can win you a week, and they can also just do nothing, and I really don't like that. And Backstrom, sure, if he was there like in the 15th, 16th round, I would take him, but I don't think he's going to
take a flyer.
Yeah, someone probably take him before I'm ready to, but I'm totally down later on. I think that would be interesting. So I'm up again here, and sometimes when I'm close like this in the later rounds, I like to go GG, but there's too many guys that I think are kind of similar. So I'm going to wait another round for a goalie, and I'm looking at a couple of pretty decent forwards here.
There's one good goalie left.
I think there's some more. Yeah, for 0G options, there's guys I'm looking at too. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to get a little slim there. Starting to get slim pickings.
There's one.
Actually, I'm gonna take a swing on a guy here that I think could be really good.
Oh yeah, love it. He's got in the category league too. Sean Dursey is who Victor picked. Blocks, big block guy, block party, and he should be top play 1 there.
He was really good in LA. I mean, if you look at his per 60 numbers, they were really good. He covers a lot of categories. He didn't play enough because when they had Doughty, he stepped in and took over, and that's fair. But yeah, in Arizona, like, no one's really going to push him out of that spot, I don't think. I mean, Valimaki, Moser, even Dumba, who's there now. I don't think any of those guys are really going to demand his ice time, they might eat into it a little bit. But I think Jersey's in for a big season.
Have you guys done any like interviews and stuff with Arizona like beat reporters and stuff? Just in terms of like, who has the kind of, is it Jersey that's kind of going to get that power play one, you think?
Yeah, actually, the guy we interviewed, Pat Brown, he actually works for the team, and we were asking him about that. That was before the Dumba trade, so we didn't know about that. And he didn't know as much about Jersey, obviously, because he just hasn't been there yet. But that's his suspicion, is that the team isn't like really married to any of the guys. They were really happy with Gostisbehere and Chychrun, obviously, but with those guys, like it's wide open, and thinks it'll be a pretty open competition. But I think Jersey's going to win it.
And best possible pass is to Schmaltz. That's my only problem with
Keller,
Arizona.
Hayden, Logan Cooley.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now.
I love Schmaltz. Are you talking Yang on Nick Schmaltz, Raj? What are you doing? Come on, that man.
Yeah, it's
leagues. Oh God.
There's a reason they're playing in a college arena right now.
Dingus Arena, I think it's called.
It's I don't know. I last year in a dynasty league, I picked up Jersey, and I'm very upset. Like LA, everybody on LA last year had career years. You've got like fucking Kempe going in round 2 or 3 now, and all this kind of stuff, and he still had reasonable numbers. So I'm a little worried about when he has no one at all.
I think the runway's clear for Jersey, though. I do think that, and I think he's got a heads up there. I could see him getting 45 with a bunch of blocks.
He's got number 1 everything, but that's because the team is absolutely garbage. That's why he has that.
They might surprise this year. I'm low key excited fantasy wise for Arizona. Not so much the team on the ice, but fantasy wise, they got some pieces.
They were 6th worst last year with a worse team, so I think they could. I mean, they're not going to be good, no, but they're going to be. Going to be. I think maybe better than 6th worst.
Yeah. Right, we're all together on this. I actually heard a crazy take. Someone's like, just on another podcast, they're like, "Yeah, I got Arizona making the playoffs this year." I was like, "Ooh, click." No, that's not. We're not doing that. Like, what are you talking about?
Taking a swing.
Bang.
Speaking of legal problems in the past, but
you know what? You should know better than this, Raj. All right, you're a Canucks fan. You're taking Patty Kane. Oh my God, no!
At the last pick of the 14th round.
All right, you're off. All right, you're off the hook. All right.
Right.
But when is he coming back? What have we heard? Like, I think he's ahead of schedule. I just read, but I don't know how far ahead.
The last thing is he's going to be back for game 1.
What? That would be an amazing pick in round 14 if he's back for game 1. My God.
Right. And what do we got here? Oh, I need a D. I need some D.
Giggity.
The age-old problem. I need some D. I don't like my list, but I'm going with it. Sticking to my guns.
Oh, Tony D'Angelo. I was actually looking at him. He's gonna. Do you think he eats into Brent Burns' time in Carolina there?
I think it's either or, and I've got Brent Burns, and I think no matter what, Brent Burns takes shots from the bench. Like that guy, like
that's right.
So, but I think also Tony D serves zero purpose if he's not getting major offensive minutes. So
right.
But I also think for your last D, you can replace that guy. At this point of the draft, I'm fine to have fun.
All right, let me recap a little bit here because I've been going off the rails here. So, all right, 14th round, Taylor Hall, Sean Dursey, Victor Took, Matty Beniers went, Gustav Forsling, who is a low-key, I like that player a lot, especially at the beginning of the season while Montour's kind of, getting his legs back from injury there. Dawson Mercer goes, Brandon the Bagel Hagel, that was an interesting signing that I didn't see coming to Tampa there. That says to me they're going to give him some real opportunity and deployment, like by giving him that kind of money. And so I actually expect him probably on the top line there and maybe the top power play. What the hell? So he might be 60 points. I took Victor Arvidsson. So I'm loving Victor Arvidsson. He's one of my guys this year. I've got him for 70 points. That's a bit of a bullish projection. But that's my guy. I'm sticking to it. Oh man, I'm up now. Matty Zooks, the Zucchini man. Oh, I'll keep going, but I'm gonna just look at my guys here because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I need another defenseman. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I think Arvidsson is going to turn out to be one of the best picks. 14th round, Victor Arvidsson is going to be a value at 14th round for sure.
Oh God, do I do this?
The only issue I have with Arvidsson is it's going to kind of be that top 9 in LA. So it's the time on ice issue that I'd be a little worried about. But you can't really argue with it this late.
Well, my thing with Arvidsson is he didn't get top 6 minutes last year. He had that great line 3. They sort of roll in LA there. And then, even in power play 2, he still had like 25 points. And then in the playoffs, they bumped him up to power play 1 and he went ballistic, right? He was getting 20 minutes a night. So I don't expect that. But even if he stays on line 3 but gets power play 1, that's sort of what I'm thinking is going to happen with Arvidsson, what I'm hoping happens with him, right? But that means PLD probably goes to power play 2, and I'm not sure that happens. Like, they just spend a bunch of money on the man. But I don't know. I could see them doing that, right? Because, and Arvidsson, if this is important to you, he's in a contract here too. So I like the man. I think he's going to do well. And then I took Luke Schenn with my pick after that. Oh, God, that's just going crazy. But, he's a beefer. He's bringing the bangs in the 15th round. Fine. All right. And he might actually get a little more deployment in Nashville. I don't know. I'm just trying to psych myself up here for Luke Schenn. But, Victor, you're up. You got 20 seconds. I'm yammering through your pick. What do you got?
Well, it's hard to find a top line center this late in the draft in round 15, but Pavel Zacha is staring me in the face. So I'm going to do that. I'm not convinced he's going to be amazing. I heard people say he's going to be like point per game, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but he definitely has the potential to be like, huge season. Obviously, he's never really had this opportunity before. I don't think it's best for Boston to run him out as a top line center, but that's what they got.
They don't have any.
Yeah, when I talked to Fluto, they're like, they don't have any options. Like, they don't have the money, the cap space, the assets to make a move, to do anything. So they're stuck with him. And so, I think he's
hoping for like a Lindholm trade over there, but I don't know. That doesn't seem to be materializing. Like, Zach is it. He's him. Yeah. So I like that pick. I mean, he's getting access to everybody.
And I'm up again, and I'm kind of surprised how dang many starting goaltenders are still out there in round 16.
Yeah, I'm looking there too.
So I'm probably going to go G. I mean, Bob is there, Corpusalo, Hart, Husso. Hill just went. Stanley Cup champ just went in round 15. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in Vegas there, so I'm not terribly surprised with that. But that was interesting. I think I'm going to go with the goalie just on the best team that's probably going to play because there are 10 million reasons why he should.
Bang. Bobrovsky, what are you doing? You forgot to do the paperwork, Bobrovsky.
10 million reasons, like 75 million.
Yeah.
Well, this year. Right.
Yeah, right.
Does Spencer Knight eat into Bobrovsky's starts this year?
If he's back, I mean, the last I heard is that he was going to be at camp, but we don't really know if he's out of the program or not. It seems like he is, but it's still, I didn't hear anything official that he's like actually back on the team.
All right, you know what? I'm going to take Victor's favorite goalie prospect. This might not be your favorite goalie.
Boy.
I'm taking a ride. I'm taking a swing with Devin Levi here. I'm not even convinced he's the number 1 in Buffalo, but it's a mock draft, damn it, and I'm having a good time. All right, I'm taking Devin Levi. Book it. All right, this guy, if he gets the reins there, we could be looking at a Calder candidate. Here, so I
didn't see you drink that much during this draft.
It's the 16th round. Come on, Raj. What do you do? No. Yeah. All right. Who else was I supposed to take? Damn it, Carol Vamelka. All right. I know you like
Luke Schenn, Levi.
All right. Everybody, just calm down. All right. It's just for engagement on YouTube, right? Because people flame my picks, and then I enjoy that. All right.
Raj, you didn't see the several shots he took off camera, so.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? That was my first mistake. Do them on camera, right? I mean, that makes no sense. And just drink out of the bottle. Why am I even pouring it into a glass? Luke Schenn in a banger league. That's
man.
That's not the worst thing ever. With the defensemen that are left. Actually, I'm looking at Jake Sanderson right now, and I'm like, I should have taken Jake Sanderson. That's a much better pick to me than Luke Schenn. But
I do have a theory that is not very well supported. But
I love this setup.
In these rounds, though, like Luke Schenn he's the leading hitter in history for defensemen. He has more hits than any defenseman in the history of the NHL. I fully believe in a categories league, especially at the ends like this. He is literally the Connor McDavid of hits. Like, why would you not go and guarantee leading that every week. Like so I do think in a categories league there's way more value to a guy who specifically does a shit ton of one thing. I think there's actually something to that for sure.
Well, and also, I mean, Radko Gudas went in the 14th round.
Exactly.
They're the same player. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so, I don't know.
And I mean, like, yeah, that's exactly it. And anything past, we're in an 18-round draft, 15, 16, 17, 18. Those guys are probably not on your team for the season, right?
Yeah.
It's fine if they're not. It's fine if they're not. So take a guy who might lead the league in hits, and then you could win a category.
It feels good. All right. Yeah. And Devin Levi. Victor, back me up on this. Come on.
Yeah, man. I'm doing my Calder episode prep for when I'm on Keeping Karlsson next week, and he's definitely, like, I think it's a bit of a hot take, but I think he is probably, if anyone's going to steal the Calder trophy from Connor Bedard, I think it might be Devin Levi. I'm not sure any of the other forwards can do it. Like, I just think Bedard's just so good. But, being a goalie, and if Buffalo makes the playoffs and Levi is the one leading them, like, he's going to have serious consideration. And I think he's the best goalie in Buffalo. Like, he's better than UPL Mike Comrie. Like, it's not a high bar, really.
Really, right?
Like, they're not going to win, and Connor Bedard's going to win the Calder. It's not much of a conversation, in my opinion. But.
Love that. I'm with you, though. I'm with you, Victor. I know Bedard's
going to win. Hurt, like, it's possible. Like, anything can happen.
He won't get hurt. He won't get hurt. He's going to get 92 points.
Oh my God! Now who's okay? Raj, were you doing shots of? Yeah, okay. We should have been doing those shots together, my man. All right. Why was I drinking alone in front of a mirror, crying? All right. We could have been doing that together. All right, buddy. Okay. Before you talk about your picks here, which are good ones, Raj, I approve of both these picks. Ross Colton in the 16th. I love that. Ross Colton in a banger league. Yes, please get that in your life. I could see that man at some point in the top 6 in Colorado this season. He's going to get a career high in ice time, so I love that. But tell us about your picks here, Raj.
I believe in baseball they call it swinging for the fences. Patty Kane, like we briefly mentioned, 14th round into the 14th round. He's Patrick Kane. First round pick a couple of years ago. He might have something. Half that would make him value in the 14th round. So that's okay. If he comes in, plays 60 games even, I think that's still fine. Besser, because I have had one large beer, and I think I have to take Besser in the end of the 16th round. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Are we so out of touch? Like, I love a Besser bounce back this year, and maybe that's just being a homer. But I'm like, Besser, 30 goals, 60 points. I feel good about that. Like, that would be a great season for Besser.
100%. I think he can. I think the team is very stacked in the top 9, especially the top 6, which he should be in. And then my last pick on the turn there was Pacioretty. In theory, if Karlsson doesn't pass to Ovechkin, he should pass to Patches. And in the 17th round, it's basically these most likely are going to end up streamer picks. Or at the end of the season, I'll say, did you see my brilliant Pacioretty pick?
Exactly. That's a freaking snipe again.
That's another good one right there.
That's such a safe pick right there. I love David Perron. His floor is ridiculous because of the power play. That pisses me off. What the?
Just what do you guys think here? I just seen right after my turn here, John Gibson went. Do you think Gibson is playing in Anaheim? Because if he's not, he's valuable.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you take that one, Victor. What do you got?
I think he starts the season, but I don't think he ends the season in Anaheim. So I think there's a lot of smoke there. I know there was like the whole issue of like, oh, he wants to be traded. No, he doesn't. Like, I think he's open to it. They just probably need to find the right package, and probably needs to have him play for a little bit and show that he still got it. But I think he's good. And it also brings up the point that Lucas Dostal is probably a pretty nice pick in later round. Like, probably not in a league this shallow, but maybe in a 14 or deeper. But like in the late round, take Lucas Dostal. He might be your starter, depending on what happens early on in the season. And he's great.
Yep, love it. I mean, He's an interesting goalie, John Gibson. Apparently, he's pretty polarizing. I had Kevin Woodley on my old pod there, and he was talking about Gibson and sort of how he's a polarizing figure in the goalie world because of his style. Like he's kind of ultra talented and maybe not as tight technically, right? So it's kind of an interesting style. And then he's playing on Anaheim where no one can block a shot. Like, can someone get down in front of a puck for the love of Pete? Yeah.
I'm curious, like if he ended up on a team with some good D, like that crazy style, like a la Tim Thomas or dare we say Dominic Hasek, but there's been some good goalies who are just freaks, and he seems kind of like the goalie who's along those lines, but playing in Anaheim, so he could end up being very good.
You heard it here first. Raj is comparing Dominic Hasek to John Gibson. All right, that's
100%.
That's the take. That is the take, Raj, and I'm here for it. All right.
Put it in the YouTube clips. John Gibson is as good as Hasek.
Love it. Let me look. There's some interesting picks here in the last couple rounds. So, So Patch already went. John Gibson, as we talked about. Garnett Hathaway, Gabe Velarde party. David Perron, snipe. I took Seth Jarvis. I like his opportunity there, potentially to get on power play 1. He needs power play 1 to be truly valuable. So I'm hoping he gets it. But who knows with Rod the Bod there in Carolina, buddy, what are you doing? And then actually, why don't you talk about your picks there, Victor? Because you made a couple and a couple good ones, actually. Oh, what are you doing?
Love it. Love your picks.
Thank you. Yeah. So at the end here, I'm looking at, like you said, Raj, like these 15 and beyond rounds, these guys might not stick on your team. You shouldn't be too attached to them. But Connor Brown in Edmonton, we know he played with Connor McDavid and Jr., and there might be some chemistry there. We don't really know what to make of Brown, though, because he barely played last year. He had, I think, ACL surgery, so he was like out. And, he signed this, 1-year contract. We'll see what happens. He's probably not getting on the power play, but if he can play at evens with Dry or McDavid, and that's who our guest, Jonathan Willis on Fantasy Hockey Life was talking about, like he's going to play in the top 6. He's going to play with one of those two at even strength. And he bangs a little bit. If he can stay healthy, like Connor Brown could be pretty cool, pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a nice floor on Connor Brown. And then, talk about your next pick there.
Yeah, and I was going to mention this with the goalie you took. So the first goalie you took was Vanecek, and he struggled mightily in the playoffs. And New Jersey struggled in the second round in general, and Schmid took over, and he looked really good. And so I think there's a non-zero chance that Akira Schmid plays as many or more games than Vanecek this year. And so I get why you took him, because New Jersey's a great team. They might win the President's Trophy, but it's not a for sure like he's going to be a volume guy. And so Schmid, I think at the end, you see what happens, and maybe you just end up dropping him if Vanecek is running away with the job. But it could turn into the starter on the best team in the league. So it's a nice swing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I've taken Schmid in a couple spots too. It's just not. I think Vanecek's a little safer. I think like Schmid is still young, and that doesn't stop teams from trotting them out there. But I think Vanecek did enough last season. His numbers weren't terrible, right? But he did lose the starting job in the playoffs to Schmid, right? So that says something. But I kind of like the handcuff. I've done that in a couple best ball drafts, is like get Schmid and Vanecek just to kind of cover the bases there, because that team is, a wagon, as we know. But I do love that pick, especially in the 18th round. My God. Elvis Merzlikins, another great 0G option, in my opinion. I mean, his numbers might not be amazing, but he's going to be a volume starter for an improved team, in my opinion. Ville Husso as well in the 18th round, nice 0G option. I took Blake Wheeler. All right. I think he's going to get, he's top 6 there in New York. New York's a great offensive team. He could get power play 1. I've got him on power play 2 currently, but he could be power play 1. Maybe 55, 60 points with decent power play numbers in the last round. Buddy, that's excellent. Logan Cooley goes. I think that's a totally worthy draft pick. Chandler Stevenson, David Jiricek. That's an interesting pick for Raging Booner. He's a big Columbus guy, so he's definitely going with his home team. Eklund goes. That's a nice pick too. I think he could have 45, 55 points this year. I don't know. And then Raj, you got the last pick of the draft. What are you doing? What is your pick? You must have taken a Canuck. No? Oh, Sean Couturier. All right. Tell us about Sean Couturier.
There's not much to say because he hasn't played in forever. But I do have plenty of centers. But, last pick of the entire draft, potentially an 80-point player. I mean, he's a great player. If Philly has a year and he's playing, he's going to be a part of it. So, like at what are we at? 18 times 12, however deep that is. That's pretty deep.
There you go.
I think he's going to be that good at least. But yeah, I mean, you can see in all of my reserve players have big red injury X's next to their name right now, so they're all.
You're just going straight to the waiver wire. Once you get your team, you're loading them all in the IR, and you're just picking up new players.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know if this would be my exact team in a real draft, but I think I'm pretty actually happy with my team.
Well, yeah. So let's do that. So something I like to do after these drafts. Let's quickly just go over our team. That the likes, the dislikes. Have a quick conversation. Then I'll get you guys out of here. Thank you so much for your time. This is a beefer episode. Hope we had a fun time. All right. So Raj, why don't you take me through your team and just tell me some of the picks you like and maybe any picks you saw that you got sniped or you wish you did something different.
I am pretty confident in Connor McDavid at 1. I don't know. I don't know if anybody debates that anymore. I mean, he's the best player in the world, bar none. I love that. I kind of have if there is Olympics, I have all of the Canadian centers. I got McDavid, I got Crosby, and I got Stamkos. So, pretty solid up the middle. I like my Gensel. I like Batherson. One guy I got in the 7th round, Jesper Bratt. I think that's a reasonable position to take him at, but I do feel, even though he's 7th round, I kind of think he potentially could put out a 4th round value this year. Defense, I definitely leaned into peripherals with Larson and Trouba. Yep. I mean, hits and blocks, I would be fine with those guys, and then having Brent Burns picking up a buttload of shots and some other peripherals. Tony D, 4th D. I would say out of my whole team here, I'm very happy with my goalies. I know you're going to chirp me for that, but Demko in the 9th, Markstrom in the 12th. I don't think I would ever need to pick up a 3rd goalie, barring injury. There's no question that those guys are going to play all the games in the everything in the West Coast. Those guys are playing every game in the West Coast this year.
I like what you said. I bet you got 2 volume starters that tandem, might play the most out of any 2 goalies. That's a fact.
Yeah, and I know we you brought up Kevin Woodley, who in my mind is just the absolute god of goalies. Yeah. He when it comes to 0 G and how you can't predict goalies. Well, Kevin can. He's the one guy who he gets so deep in he can. Yeah. I know he's high on both of these guys. That weighs heavily on my opinion. But one thing I disagreed with him on is, we had during the whole COVID situation, it really moved away from having volume starters because everyone was so worried about someone going down. But since then, last year, you did see a slight bounce back of the 60 to 65 game starter, and I think these 2 guys are going to be them. And I'd rather have that on reasonable teams, which is something I do find is the downfall to 0 G, which I'm not going to say I disagree with. But if I'm getting 2 goalies starting in the 9th round who are going to get me 60-plus games each, I'm very happy with that. The thing I don't like about shuffling goalies is what you can run into, depending on your league, is you can run into having to shuffle goalies every week or 2, which takes you away from getting skater points, which are where your real points come from. So I'm happy with the goalies. Long way of saying that. I'm pretty happy with the team. And the one guy I would say who would be my potentially great pick could end up being Patrick Kane in the 14th round if he ends up being Patrick Kane and playing.
Could be money in the bank, my guy. Yeah. If he's – I just heard he's ahead of schedule. I didn't hear he started the season. So if that's even in the vicinity, it just all depends where he goes. Right? He's not going to get home in a spot. I love that pick. It's a nice little draft pick, but I like to put both of those guys in because well, buddy, it's like no, doesn't really have any trust problem. Love those picks. Nice work, my man. Victor, what did you tell me about your team? And then, yeah, it's kind of like Roger did.
Sure, yeah, definitely. A little bit interesting picking so late on the end there, and I was definitely hoping for a little bit more of a sure thing and then my first pick, but Tim Stützle, I think he's for real, even though we basically only seen it at this level once, and so I would have liked a little bit more security with some of my early picks. I think Stützle and then Kaprizov. I mean, I think they're both great, but it's not like they're Kucherov, who's done it year in year out, and I was kind of hoping he was going to fall, or like Jason Robertson, who's got a couple years doing it. So those are my first two. Pretty happy with them, and then I also kind of agree with what Raj said about waiting on D. I tend not to like to take the D too early, but I think if there's value for massive points, over the next best guy, then sometimes it's worth it. So Evan Bouchard at 35 in the third round was, maybe a little bit of a reach, but I just think he could have huge value. I try to look for these guys that can actually take a big step or have an opportunity opening up in front of them, and that's, I think, certainly the case with Bouchard. So I like that one. And then I got RNH in the fourth, similar, like high. He's going to regress, but he still has super high floor with being on the power play. And then Caulfield and Larkin after that, I think just, pretty. I'm hoping for big things with Caulfield. I think he still has a lot of room to grow, and goals are at a premium. Larkin as a later center, I really like to wait a little bit on some of my centers, and you can usually get first line centers like Dylan Larkin in the 6th round, and he does a lot of category coverage. And then McAvoy, just a great all around D. Pavelski a little bit later, for power play points and all the things that he does. Matheson in the 9th, I was really happy about that, and you can tell.
Right, you're happy with that. What the hell are you doing?
You can tell there's so I didn't, in case you're counting at home, I didn't take a goalie until round 13, and I started thinking about it around 10, and then I was looking and I saw some similar options, so I waited. Yeah, so Matheson I really like. I think there's always such value with guys on bad teams. A lot of times people don't want to take them, so I think he's great value. And then I took Marchessault in the 10th, just a decent, all around. And then Falk, I really like Falk. I think there's a good chance that Krug moves on or does something else, and then he takes the power play. McCann, I wasn't super happy with this pick. I just thought there were a lot of horizontal options, but I'm going to go with the goal scorer in that situation. So that's why I took him. And then, yeah, for goalies, I took Kemper in the 13th and Bobrovsky in the 16th, and then Schmid we talked about in the 18th. So that's a good range for me for taking goalies, especially like if you have your picks close together. I like being able to wait, and then you can just snag like a couple back to back. And I almost did that, but then I waited a couple rounds because I still saw some similar options after I took Kemper. Dursey and Zaka were probably two of my swings. I'm probably happiest about Zaka in the 15th. I mean, there's great opportunity. We haven't ever seen it, really all come together, but that could happen. And I think, in the first round, third, I think you want your picks to be kind of safe and proven. In the middle, you can take some kind of mild swings, which I think I kind of did in terms of like Matheson, was maybe a little bit, and, maybe like Falk, McCann. Like they're not big swings, but they're guys who can maybe take another step. And then in the later rounds, I'm all about taking bigger swings. Like Dursey, he hasn't really done it as a, top D, but maybe he could end in the season as top 20 or something like that. Like it's possible. I don't think it's super likely, but it's possible. And then Connor Brown, we talked about, and Bobrovsky. So kind of like to take some bigger swings later on, especially guys that I'm not going to be super married to. Like if Connor Brown gets somehow stuffed into the bottom 6 and doesn't really play much and isn't doing anything, like I'm fine dropping him. Or if Vanacek starts like 10 games, 20 games in a row, then it's like, okay, can drop Schmid. So that's kind of the way I look at those. But yeah, I'm pretty pretty happy with some of the later picks that like Matheson and Zaka were probably two of my favorites, and then Schmid as the big last swing. I was actually thinking about Cooley, and I know he went after me. I wanted to just mention him because I think Cooley could be really good, and he's got another year. You know, he was in college last year, and he might be the best center in Arizona, which I know is not like a super high bar, but he could step in and play really big minutes and be pretty good and get power play time. And if that's one of your last picks, and even if he finishes as like a top, 40 center or 50 center, like that's still really good value way late in the draft. So that's a good one. I like that pick. That wasn't mine. That was someone else's.
Zach Attack getting shout out by Victor here, that legend. You know what? I think I like both your teams better than mine. It was a weird draft for me. I feel like, 6 overall. I haven't drafted at 6th yet. And taking Matty Tkachuk with my first pick, it would feel better if he didn't just come off a broken sternum. You know what I mean? Like the guy was lights out. He played amazing, but he legit couldn't put his shirt on. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't normally like to do that. I like a little bit of a safer pick, but I mean, at that point, I'm looking at, Rantanen, Tkachuk, Hughes, Kucherov. Like maybe I could have went Kuch there, but I don't know. I took a swing with Tkachuk. Like there's, his periffs aren't as good as they should be. So we'll see what happens there. But then getting Meyer in the second, I love that. Meyer in a Cats league, bang. I'm a big fan of that. So I'm happy there. Barkov in the third feels like value to me. Erik Karlsson for my first defenseman. Yeah, like I said, he's going to regress for sure. Not 100 point, but 70. I've got him for 75. So I like that. I mean, Karlsson's going to get the biz, no question there. And Aho is a guy that I think is fading in drafts big time, and he shouldn't be. Like this guy, to me, is the most consistent fantasy performer on Carolina. He's the only guy where I'm like, yes, okay, and Svechnikov, I guess, but Aho for sure, right? He's getting the deployment. So I'm a big fan of Aho. I think he's going to bounce back to point per game, no problem. Then see you at the party, Victor. I took Victor Hedman, and that wasn't, I got sniped there. So that was, I kind of just went with the next best thing. I mean, Hedman in real life.
Good pick. Good pick.
Better defenseman than Seider, no question. It's just Seider has those crazy periffs, and I was really kind of targeting that at this point. But I do for sure think that Hedman is going to bounce back from the season he had last year, right? This is one of the best defensemen in the league. Right. And I'm getting him in the 6th round. That's crazy. Like, so yeah, I like him better than Sergachev, who actually went around earlier up here. So that's my take, and I'm sticking to it. Then I took Matt Boldy. I love that. Matt Boldy really popped for me when Kaprizov went down last year, and we saw that he was able to sort of carry the load there in Minnesota. And they're going to need him to do, basically the exact same thing and more, because Minnesota has, like you've mentioned, Victor, they got all that dead cap. They're not going to be able to do anything. So, like, who they have is who they have, right? And they're going to trot these guys out. And I think Boldy has kind of proven himself, and he should get more offensive minutes. Does he get put on a line with Kaprizov? I don't know. And if he does it even work? Like, they've tried that experiment before, and it hasn't really hit, right? He plays a lot better with Joel Eriksson Ek and Marcus Johansson, actually, who's a low-key, really deep league option for me. I think he can, put up some points. He has some good chemistry there. Anywho, I took Boldy there in the 7th. Then Jacob Chychrun. Again, this feels like a bit of a, like you were talking about, Victor. You want the number one guy. You want the guaranteed guy. And this isn't a guaranteed guy. And I don't like that. But I do like the ceiling of Chychrun. So that's kind of a ceiling play there. And then I took Val Nichushkin. Did you guys see this picture of Val Nichushkin with like these rifles, like sitting next to a van and like all blinged out? Like, what the hell is this man doing? What is he doing? Great fantasy player and good player in real life, but buddy, there's some issues. There's a couple red flags, my man. So I don't know, but it sounds like he's good to go for the season. So hopefully that's the case. What the hell with these M16s? You guys see this?
No.
It was on Twitter. It was on X, so it's got to be true, right? I saw a picture. So Val Nichushkin, buddy. All right, you got some problems from my cold dead hands.
I don't know. Yeah, there was stuff up there about Ovechkin and
I don't know what they're doing up in there. All right, but I'm not going to talk any Yang on Ovechkin, but Nichushkin, buddy, you're on notice. All right. Owen Tippett, I like that pick. Probably a bit of a reach in round 10. He does have bangs, and that's a ceiling play as well. These aren't safe picks to me. And then Vanacek, we talked about that, Victor. Yeah, again, he's not the clear number one. He's the 60-40 number one, maybe. But I mean, if he falters, did they just toss Schmid in there? Maybe. Chris Kreider, Jamie Benn, and Victor Arvidsson. This is a nice part of the draft for me. I feel good about these picks. Kreider here is value to me because I think he legit still has 40 goal upside. He probably won't get it, but 35 for sure, maybe 60 points. He's access to a really good power play. He's a part of that power play. And he's got a long ass neck.
Yeah, buttload of hits too, right?
Yeah, hits. So, and then same with Jamie Benn. The ceiling's not there, but the floor is solid. He's on a great power play in Dallas, no problem, and he bangs as well. I love that video of Jamie Benn. Like he's got his arm around some guy. I don't know. This was last season. They're just talking. There's a hubbub going on. They're just watching it from the side, and they're kind of friendly. And then all of a sudden, he like knocks the stick out of this guy's hand. And this guy goes to pick up the stick, and Jamie Benn just knocks it away, and then he just starts wrestling the guy. You guys ever see that video? Like Ben just seems like a wingnut. Like he's got some problems. He's a strange man, but nice head of hair. So we'll go on that.
Island guy.
Is he? Where's he from?
I believe he's from Victoria.
Right, yeah.
If he's not from Victoria, he's. They've lived there. His best friend married my cousin.
Oh dang! So I'm surprised you didn't draft him, Raj. I thought that's one of your boys. All right,
sort of. The thing is, see, my sister Jamie Benn took the first dance with my sister, so I'm kind of. If he wasn't 6'5" and 400 pounds, I'd have to.
Yeah, and they also talked Yang on the Sedins. You remember this? Him and Tyler Seguin talking about the Sedins. Get the hell out of my sight.
Sure.
All right, that's fine. Sorry, I drafted him anyway. Victor Arvidsson next. Luke Shen, we talked about that. Devin Levi, we talked about that. Then I took for my last two picks Seth Jarvis. I think is a good upside play in the second last pick because I think he has a bead on power play 1, hopefully. And he was supposed to break out last year, right? And didn't happen. So hopefully this is the year that he breaks out. And then Blake Wheeler, I think good swing pick there. He's top 6 in New York. So yeah, I think my favorite pick is probably Barkov in the third. I like that. I think that feels like major value to me. And I was happy to get him there. But boys, that was a beefer of an episode. That was such a fun mock draft. I really appreciate you guys' time. That was great. Have you guys been mocking a lot in your own free time?
I haven't. In the past few years, I've been running Monday mock drafts for 5-hole. So this year I haven't been. This is my second mock draft, and I felt a little bit nervous. Honestly, I have a question for you guys before we go.
What do you got?
Was there anybody on the undrafted list that you think is surprising? There's a couple guys I'm looking at that I was like, shit, I thought somebody would have taken him. Like Matt Duchene is only a season removed from a ridiculous season, which I would never draft him, but I thought somebody would. Logan Thompson, he's been nothing.
Good 0G option.
He's been nothing but amazing anytime he's played in the NHL.
There's a lot of goalies, actually. I mean, Grubauer, starter on a good team, even though he's been kind of up and down. But, he's there. Bennington, Swayman, the other half of that, tandem.
There's I've been drafting Copley as one of my last picks because it's either him or Cam Talbot in LA, and that's a great environment for goalies, and no one's taking him. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna light the world on fire, but I think he's the number one there. I think that's a nice 0G option, but it's not a surprise that he's still there. The only person like Owen Power is a guy I've been seeing go in drafts, and I like as well, just as a defenseman. And there's some other guys that went off the board that I think I'd rather have Owen Power over them. But, I guess not in a Cats league, like 30, they're projecting 30 hits, 90 blocks. That's not very good.
Well, here's one, Lawson Krause. I know that it's Arizona, but the guy puts up a ton of hits and scores a decent number of goals too and points. Yep. So I think he probably should have been drafted. And to your point about LA, neither LA goalie got taken, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah, for sure. What about speaking of Arizona, Jack McBain? Yeah, just an absolute unit. Oh my God, they got some fun fantasy pieces. It's nice to see these guys on the wire because when you're streaming in, you're like, oh, I need some hits. Get me Lawson Krause and do it now. All right, this guy's gonna crush people, and he might be in the top 6 there. I mean, I think he'll probably be on the third line to start, but Nothing too surprising. Like, I feel like these managers did a good job. There's nothing here egregious to me that I can see. I don't know. I like Andre Burakovsky, actually. Burakovsky, sorry. That's a guy I'm low key into, which I didn't take. I was thinking about taking him with my last pick, but he's going to be a number one line in Seattle. He could get 60 points, right, with your last pick. That's kind of surprising to see him there.
Yeah, there was a couple of other prospects, that didn't get taken. I mean, Bedard, I know Raju said 90 points, but I don't think that's happening. But taking him in the 6th ahead of some other for sure options, I just think that's a bit risky, So, but that's not surprising. I'm not surprised he went. I am surprised that Adam Fantilli didn't go because he's going to be on a pretty good team, I think, and he's pretty NHL ready, so he could be nice. And then Brant Clark, who I know that they moved on from Jersey, and Doughty's still there, but Brant Clark is amazing, and he could get power play 2, maybe even some power play 1 time. So he, might be worth a late round flyer. And then the last one I'll mention is Matthew Nyes, who very likely could be a second liner in Toronto on a really good team. And he also bangs quite a bit. So he's someone who, and who knows, someone gets injured in that top 6 and all of a sudden he's on the power play. Like, whoa, like that could be incredible.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, I think this was a pretty good draft. Like, the managers in here were doing a good job. So, I love that song there, Raj. What are you doing? Put it to the speaker. All right. We got to wrap this up. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. I really appreciate that. Victor, I'll start with you. Just tell us what you got going in the hopper here. First off, Victor is at Victor Nuño 12 on X. All right. And tell us what you got going on. What's coming up for you guys?
Yeah, so on Fantasy Hockey Life, Jesse and I are making our way through our team previews. We are almost to the end. I think we only have like 6 or 8 left by the time you're hearing this. So not too bad. And then we're going to do some, team or some season previews, like over positions and some different content for like redraft stuff. So that's going to be good. And then over at Dauber Prospects Report with Peter Harling, we are doing all prospects all the time. So we're going to be we've been talking with some scouts, which has been really fun, like some professional scouts, giving a lot of insight there. We're going to be talking about some of the prospect tournaments that are going on here and some news and notes from camp. So there'll be good stuff. Follow that DPR_show and X, and at Fan Hockey Life is the other Twitter handle there.
Buddy, I love it. You guys are crushing, man. Both your shows, like some of the most comprehensive stuff I've heard on fantasy hockey and just hockey in general. I love diving into that stuff. It's really awesome. So great job over there. Really appreciate what you guys are doing. Raj, what are you doing right now, buddy? I mean, we know. Tell us what's going on with you and what you're working
on. Well, as you just heard, I have a delivery order coming in right now. Beyond that,
pizza pie.
Well, it might not be pizza. It's legal in Canada, though. The 5 Hole Fantasy Hockey podcast that has been a humongous part of my life for the last few years. We're taking a little step back this year. We're not calling it off, but it's going to be a little different this year, a little more sparse. We're also starting up a secondary crew on the 5 Hole Fantasy show. So there will be stuff coming down that pipeline, which we're still working out. I'm, as usual, editing and producing for Sportsnet for a bunch of different shows. The most fun for me is the 32 Thoughts podcast with Elliot and Jeff. Those guys are my favorite. I still can't believe I'm working on that show. It's a bit of a treat for me. Awesome, can I say it's the easiest job in the world, making those guys sound like they know what they're talking about. Producing a baseball show as well. And beyond that, I have a couple of personal projects coming out that you will see, and I will be putting them out on the 5 Hole Fantasy feed. So if you're already a 5 Hole Fantasy member, or if you're subscribed or whatever, anything I do will be coming out through there. Any of my personal stuff, I got a couple of fun things coming out there. Beyond that, I'm just fucking waiting a month, man. I'm just waiting a month for this stuff to start.
I can't wait. Yeah, buddy. I am so stoked for the season. Well, Mike, awesome. Buddy, it's so nice to see you. It's good to have you on the pod here. I'm back in the fantasy hockey space, buddy, where you belong. All right. So you'll be seeing, I'm going to be hitting these guys up all season. There you go. There's the music again. I'm going to be hitting Victor. I'm going to be hitting up Raj. Yeah, he's persistent. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate that. And that's it for our show, everybody. Really appreciate your time. Hope this brought you some value. Thanks again, everybody. Celebrate your day. Bye for now.